Welcome back to Breaking Borderlands. Sorry if I sound a little different. I have a bit of a head cold today. But I just wanted to demonstrate that we are one level away from max and 4 minutes away from 13 hours of playtime. You can see how my other max characters have days and days upon them. And again, this is supposed to be, I think, 32 hours of gameplay just for the main storyline. So, yeah, this is completely broken in the sense of we are over leveled. Now I'm going at our breaking point in the claptrap nest or the scrap trap nest. I made the mistake of leaving the cartels on. This had a couple of pros and cons. The main con being that a lot of the badass enemies that spawn are harder to deal with our spark plug technique we were using. So it would take a longer time to take certain enemies down, and it goes faster just to be able to take out scrap traps, skip prime and reset, and just keep taking out the scrap traps. But, you know, it gave us the option of, better drops, legendary chance drops and such. But I'm still here in the compactor at our breaking point, and I'm going to get that last sweet level, and then I'll explain the tree that I've got going on and go over a couple of tips to get ourselves properly equipped to start hunting our build. So first thing I want to make a point of is I have in my bank a good stock of weapons that already kind of fit the bill for what's going on. So, after I demonstrate where and how to get the weapon, I might just go and pick up the one if I don't get the drop in the video. Just because it saves time and I can show off exactly how this build works and whatnot. Certain drops are completely world-based. For example, the Rhina launcher, which was one of the main inspirations for this setup, because it works the best. But, as you can see here, I had started with a green Mala 1 shotgun that had the URAD on it, and I found a couple of other URAD stuff. And this is just things I found along the way. I found better spark plugs, which increase their damage as they go up. And I was just grabbing little things as we went. Now, I did find better red fangs, and one of the things that we're looking for in the red fangs is splash damage, or the splash damage radius. I'm actually going to go with the splash damage radius for now. I found a better bounty hunter. And better is always relative. The reason that this is better for me is because it gives more points into Hunter's Eye, and that's what I really want out of a bounty hunter mod, is as much as Hunter's Eye I can get, because I don't put anything into it. As you can see here, we're running pretty much on our criticals, giving us action skill, cooldown, and bullets back in the magazine, and then giving ourselves a 20% chance to crit on any connecting hit. But the Red Fang is our main survivability at this point in time. There's a Widowmaker, and you can see I've gotten quite a few. Yeah, you can see here I had an old spark plug that I had found around 55. And you can see how the damage has gone up and the radius has gone up. But now we're going to start looking for other stuff. Now, at this point in time, when I had ended, I was on Mayhem 10 with Loot Explosion and Holy Crit. Hence why I have so many legendaries in my inventory. I've had Guardian rank off this entire time just so that you can get an average time of doing it off the bat, you know, for the people who've just gotten the game and are trying to catch up with the wave of people who've been playing it for years. So the main thing with the Red Fang is you're trying to distract everybody with your pet, and then you're going to use the elevation of the hill to put down your spark plug. Now, the modifiers with the laser flares and whatnot, it is difficult to get it done, but yeah, the main pro to doing the cartels is even if you do end up getting one of the cartel thugs that is an elite, then you still can take him out. It's just not going to be easy. And I also went with corrosion resistance, but the problem there is they corrosive nova whenever they're resistant to it, or immune to it. It's not even resistance, but there's that last level. You can see how fast we got it. So now it's all about loot. At this point in time, you're looking for specific items, and you can see that certain legendaries have dropped. Now this is a good spot when you're rocking the loot explosion to get yeah, this is a good spot to get legendaries when using the loot explosion, because then you can just come here and then reset, do it again, and they all have a chance to loot explode with a legendary. That's including if any cartel thugs show up and including the underbosses. Sorry for stumbling upon my words. Alright, just because I'm gonna need something to demonstrate this. Now, if you have bought the whole shebang bang of the game and got the designer's cut, and you took my advice in being on the Welcome to Pandora card, you can now open your chests, which are random in the rewards, but you can get these keys to then unlock things on the vault card. So you can see here I'm getting a bunch of keys for it and some free iridium, but you can also end up getting some of these cosmetics for free and such. But now you can roll for a shlooter artifact, which I can roll twice here. Now, if you're rolling it the first time, it's always going to come out without any modifiers. Yeah, I'm just going to spend the other two. So, if you roll it again, it'll come out with modifiers, which can enhance it. But now that we've got ourselves some shlooter artifacts, yeah, movement speed and sniper, cryo efficiency, magazine size. So I'm going to go with this one. But now you can see how you have that legendary drop chance. If you mix that with the loot explosion, now I'll hold on to that. I got other shlooters saved up though. So we're losing our spark plug and our damage, but that's one of the reasons now I've picked up a corrosive weapon, and I'm going to try and use it. Now with this build, you can still depend on your pet giving you some good damage and whatnot, but your critical chances also very, very good at this point in time. Not to mention, I think I've got next 2 mags of cryo on this, so even though it doesn't seem like it's doing great damage right now, I can eventually get extra damage on those next 2 mags. And with us landing critical hits, you can see how my ammo is lasting. Now, the critical hits that are coming from any grenades or the aura from your companion, or even your companion's attacks, you can see how my ammo is slowly going up as he lands critical hits. So you can keep that cryo damage going for about 2 minutes. It does have a limit in time, but now you've got that extra damage, so the ones that are immune to corrosive still take cryo damage. And then of course you can always add the radiation damage in, and yeah, you're getting great survivability. But you know, there's a friend bot, and now you can see the sides of the screen. They're usually lighted up with that orange whenever we get the damage boost from Gamma Burst, but you can see there's a green with them now too. The green is the shlooter when it's activated itself. And so you can see that radiation damage is also putting in some good work. And don't forget, you can take out the spinners. They can be targeted. I need a good... What is my grenade mod? Oh, it's a fastball. Where's that Stormfront? Oh, and grenade damage is... Well, that's actually not bad for our setup because we have the Gamma Burst running for quite some time. Getting a little more grenade damage out of it's nice. We're also going to take a stopgap now. And thanks to the setup, we can always have the Jabber get us up, which is rather useful. But, and there's another Widowmaker. So that'll give us bonus incendiary damage. What do you do? Bonus corrosive damage, which is what I prefer, because eventually what it's going to be is while we have the Gamma Burst active, we're going to get extra radiation damage. So when that radiation damage goes away, now there's some incendiary, there's some corrosive. That's the idea. Keep our damage up while our damage potential goes down from the lack of the Gamma Burst. But that's what we're farming for now. If you can find any weapons with Gamma Burst on them from the world drop list, any of them can be useful. I was just picking up things with the URAD or, you know, something of a high level. And again, we're leveling so fast that there's anything level 65 and up is still very viable. So I still have options if I wanted to pick from anything that had been dropping. And when it comes to class mods and artifacts, the level doesn't matter. You can still have a level 50 and it will still have a great impact on improving gameplay. So, but I'm through with all these, and I'm almost full in my inventory. So what we're going to do is we're also going to take the shlooter artifact, because a place where it, you know, yeah, we lose the whole spark plug, so we don't murder things as fast anymore. But that increased loot chance can't be understated. I mean... So, and again, if you've got the loot explosion going on, yeah, you can get some really good drops going on. Now, one problem with doing it here and like this is you can see how much equipment is on the ground. I'm going to blue screen here in a second. So what we're going to do... Oh, I'm full. Alright, so what we're going to do here... by score... Check the new stuff. Grenade throw. That is my that's my preferred... Not my preferred grenade mod, but that's my preferred anointment. So we're just gonna leave that actually. Here, I better turn it so I don't go trying to pick up things I don't want. Alright. I'm just gonna try and grab a few things because I haven't had time to read them yet. Oh, get me up, Jabber, please. Never mind. Oh, now give me up. Oh, that's why, because you're an elite. But the clip extending capabilities of this can't be understated, and it gets even better, trust me. What we're going to do right now is we're actually going to travel, because one of the first weapons with my setup that you should be looking for is already in a boss that we've done. So we're going to go to the anvil, because we're going to take down the warden. Now he drops the plague bearer, but only after I think it's like Mayhem 6, maybe Mayhem 4, it's one of those two. But here we are on Mayhem 11. The problem being is we might struggle to take him out with any kind of setup. But what you also could do is the trick of how we started the game, where we skipped the tutorial and went to Gehenna. Go ahead and go back to Vestige and use your photo mode to rob the bank and find a gun or two that's going to work for you. That's always an option. Now that we've got the shlooter artifact, you could also do any world drops from the Slaughter Shaft or the Slaughter Star 3000 or the Cistern of Slaughter. Any of the Circles of Slaughter, really. But the slaughter shaft has the most badasses in the rounds, so they will have the highest drop chance for legendaries, especially if you have the shlooter artifact on. Now, one thing that you should know is the shlooter artifact only affects world drop chance, not dedicated drops like the plague bearer we're looking for. Oh, staying hydrated is important, especially on Pandora. Pardon. So, even though it's not going to help us find the plague bearer any faster, what it is going to do is have him drop artifacts and class mods that we're probably going to need. So we're going to speed run as best we can through this area. So we're going to come over here. And you're going to jump for the ledge. And then you're going to jump across. And you could go take out the Mother of Grogans if you wanted to. Just because they're also a really good spot. There's 4 guaranteed elites. And then once you take her out, it's real easy to deal with the other ones because they get stuck in the ceiling. That's a good place to farm for some legendaries, but their dedicateds aren't that great. It's just the world drop chance that you get off of them, so using the shlooter is effective. And honestly, a lot of shlooter stuff is going to be effective, but the reason we're going for the it was cryo. The reason we're going for the plague bearer first is because the way that this whole setup functions is going to make the shlooter even more accessible. The reason I say it like that is because once the first enemy dies from this whole interaction that we're going to be doing, then everybody else is going to die shortly thereafter, giving the shlooter the longest possible chance to have you get drop chains of legendaries. So that's the idea. That's the best way that I've found to do this, is the fact that if you can find enough enemies in a row, they're all going to die so close together, the shlooter's pretty much active the entire time. But first things first is getting your primary weapon. Now, another thing that might pop up because it is a world drop is the Scourge launcher, and it works actually better, only in a different function. Higher fire rate with less power. But the Plague Bearer is, I know where to get it, and it's not too hard, because it's the Warden. The Warden's not that difficult. So, just come down here. Oh, he's corrosive immune. That's not too bad. We're still doing pretty good damage, actually, from that radiation. But, yeah, now he's just immune. And I forgot to grab any other weapons that were, you know, worth the level. But that corrosive damage should also kick back in here shortly. And again, that's one of the issues, is when you're trying to do a Mayhem 10 drop of it all, then you always have a chance of getting modifiers that are going to hinder your progress, like this corrosive resistance, but it's not that bad. It's easy to compensate it. And of course, you could always do this on Mayhem 11 as well. Loot Explosion actually has the capability to, that's the first time I've seen spinners double stack like that. It has the ability to mess up drop chance, because he's going to want to drop guns in the first place, and if he's happening to want to drop legendaries, he might not, just because the Loot Explosion is telling him to just drop as much as he can, not as best as he can. What do you mean he's down? I just tried to do the thing. Well, okay, that's not gonna work. What's my highest power? Don't like the Tunguska, but it's actually really good for the sticky mode. It's the regular mode that's weird, because it makes reference to the Tunguska event in Russia, where meteor detonated in the air and basically was as strong as a nuclear bomb. I think it like flattened 100 acres of trees, or was it 100 miles of tree? And they still haven't grown back today, and oh my goodness. My stopgap activated. Which is a really good world drop shield to get you started. When and if we do actually get the... Ah, come on. And he's not spawning any ads for some reason. But when these stickies detonate, they actually fly upwards before they detonate. But it's still decent damage to him. But trying to land it on him regularly would be ridiculous. It's just the sticky that I suggest using when it comes to the Tunguska. Because, you know, the sticky goes straight, but then comes up. When it's the regular impact, once it hits something, it'll fly up. So, you could easily miss it either way. Do I have anything else? That doesn't even have an anointment that I can use. Well, that has the anointment I'm looking for. With the Gamma Burst. So we might just use it because it fits the bill. So does that saw bar. And the storm. And again, just because it's a low level doesn't mean that you should just say it doesn't work. It still very well may work. That's, yeah, no. So I don't want to have to depend upon the URAD. So we're going to try the Iceberger, even though it is not a good gun. It just has the anointment we're looking for, which can make it a good gun. Oh, and this time he didn't generate with the immunity. Yeah, that's still a terrible gun. But since you don't have the corrosive immunity now... that works much better. But yeah, you can see how most of these critical hits are helping to add ammo back into my magazine. And now, the reason that we're wearing the shlooter during this is because he is one of the bosses that the shlooter will kick in when his death animation starts and when he actually dies and drops the loot. It's the same thing with Grave Ward, it's the same thing with the Agonizer, and the reason that this is good is because then you end up having the shlooter guaranteed even if you didn't kill one of his ads right before he went down. Kind of thing. And again, he's easier as far as bosses are concerned, especially with this setup, because he is easily distracted by whatever companion you got going on. And now you see it activated, he loot exploded, and then the shlooter goes off too. And oh, he dropped us one. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Alright, I'm done. That's not bad. Not gonna need it. And oh, I'm full of legendaries. And he gave us a Scourge too. Well, how about that? He gave us a fire one. So, that's not bad for a Magnificent either. And Carterizing Victory Rush. The Victory Rush is nice. So, yeah. Now you can see how good the shlooter can be. I'm gonna have to do some stuff here. Goodbye. I don't need 2 Icebergers. Goodbye. So, what did I just pick up? What did I just pick up? Did I pick something up? We got that too. Which, that is actually pretty good, just because it's tracking, it's going to give us back some health, give us back some shield, and while our action skill is active, which is most of the time, the grenade damage is increased, meaning more shields and health back. So, it gives us a good panic spam for grenades. I really can't believe he dropped us first victory. I likes it. I likes it a lot. So, with that being said, we're going to go back to Sanctuary real quick. Now, there are two reasons I'm coming back to Sanctuary. One is to demonstrate Crazy Earl's anointment farming. It's one of the reasons I asked you to save up your iridium. But another reason I asked you to save up your iridium is because you can spend it on the gun to also do world drops. It's just more useful of if you can find yourself a world drop or a dedicated drop. Then you can spend the 250 that you would have been using to farm a legendary to get the anointment you want on the legendary you already farmed. So it's pretty much 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. One of the benefits of doing the gun, and also something I would ask you to look for out of Crazy Earl's vending machine, is the leech. If you happen to do the tutorial on Pandora, you got it for completing the mission to get Sanctuary into orbit. You can get a leech. So you can actually start the game over, you know, reset your missions, do that portion of the game finally if you skip the tutorial, and get a leech anyway, and then come here and use this to farm your anointments. So, oh, for goodness crying out loud. I'm gonna go hit a vending machine real quick just to get some of the junk out of my inventory. Yeah, take all that stuff. Alright, and now you can also see that I acquired millions from using Loot Explosion on all those scrap traps and whatnot. So, feel free to go ahead and upgrade your SDUs farther. You know, as much as you can, really. Because they start getting pricey. They get into the millions here. So, but it's always nice to have more ammo. Ironically, when the setup gets going, you're actually going to want to run out of rocket launcher ammo for it to work, but we'll demonstrate that when the time comes. So, now that I've got that down, Plague Bearer is stronger, but slower firing, and the Scourge is faster firing and less powerful. So it's pretty much, you know, at this point, because I'm going to do the Scourge just because being a world drop, it's easier for you to achieve it. While you see how we got it while we were trying to farm the Plague Bearer. So you would come in here, and again, it's 250 a roll. And you're going to get stuff that you're not going to be able to use, or it's going to be like here. It just gave me something for Moe's. Why? I'm not Moe's. But what we're looking for, kill stack works. This is the kill stack anoint, so killing an enemy grants you 13% weapon damage and reload speed for 25 seconds, and it stacks. Hence why it's called kill stack. Pardon me. So it can work, but we want that gamma burst damage just because it's extra damage, and the radiation, especially when there's groups of enemies, it's all AoE enhancing, so it enhances the explosions as well. And you can see me passing by a bunch of stuff, but you can also see, there we go. You can see how much I just spent. I went from 4,000 down to 2,000 real quick, but with that setup, you're going to be able to just rock so much face. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that too. So now, what the idea is, because how the Scourge works, is it sends out one rocket, but then rockets spawn from it, and those smaller rockets that you see spawning will home towards enemies. So while this is on, we're getting double the damage plus an extra 15% with radiation. So it's fire, it's radiation, it's for some reason coming back to target me. That was ridiculous. So let me see, what's a good farm here that we can do? Ah, I know something we can do. Yeah, now that I've demonstrated that, actually, I'm going to save it for the next video. But we're going to go ahead and set that up now because we're already here on Sanctuary. Come talk to Moxie.
Hey, hot stuff. Got a proposition for you, provided you're a little bit of an exhibition.
So you want to take the mission of Kill Kilovolt?
If you didn't know,
Did I mess up? I did. I got rid of all that stuff. So, don't... I should have mentioned this beforehand, so don't be an idiot like me. Don't sell the spark plug and everything that you used for our setup when it comes to the scrap trap nest, because you can go back there at any time and do that. So why get rid of it? Now, did I sell that back? Yeah. Now, I'm somewhat fortunate because I have all that stuff in my bank, but yeah, I should have made mention of that earlier just to hold on to that equipment. So, oh, down to the bottom. I'm gonna grab me a spark plug. Do I have a spark plug? I do. Static charge, launch pad, victory rush, rocket boots. Nope, those are snowdrifts. Launch pad compiles more, but accuracy, reload speed, assault rifle. Just because it has area of effect damage, I'm taking the static charge. And then I needed a shield. I needed a front loader. That works. So yeah, I just always suggest having the front loader, spark plug, and URAD handy. That isn't my URAD, is it? No, it is not. Well, phooey. Hopefully one of the ones I sold was a URAD. I know I have more URADs in the bank, but I just want to illustrate that you should keep a hold of yours equipments. Ah, that figures. Alright, so. Now the main reason I'm doing this is because this mission specifically is just as farmable as... That works. Is just as farmable as the scrap trap nest and uses the same trick. But we're just trying to get there. So now we have to get to Electricity on Promethea, which I do believe you go to the Meridian Metroplex and then there's a connecting area for it. But I'm hoping that you found this informational and entertaining, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.